Hey, hey, hey,
Hey, hey,
hey.
hey. Welcome, welcome,
I, I,
welcome. I
I
don't
was
know
taking
what's
a
going
mickey of you,
on
really.
there.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, hey, hey. Hi,
Hello,
everyone.
everybody.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
To
Go on, I'm
another
waiting for you
episode
to
of
talk.
Gym Time. Get your motivation. See, I'm talking. I think there's a delay that we got today.
Yeah, I don't know what's going
Neither do I. But yeah, welcome, me, Maurice, and can't you hear me, Deb? I don't think my sister can hear me today. Welcome out there, joining us. Um, another episode of Gym Time and about toxic love part 2. It's
on.
going to
Yeah, I
be an
can hear you,
intro.
but I'm pausing for a bit because I can hear you're talking and then it's.
Hopefully you guys can hear me out there. Yeah, welcome to another Gym Time Toxic Love part 2. If you haven't watched the first one, do go and watch that and then come back here. um, if you want to watch this live, yes, now, then go ahead. But if you do want to watch the first one and then watch this one afterwards, then you can do that. And those that are watching part 2 on the rerun, hi to you, and I hope you enjoy our show. You dealt with all that, Debbie? I don't think my sister want to talk to me.
No, it's really playing up. I can hear us over and over again. It's just not. I don't know what's going on. It's just got a real bad delay, and then I can hear you like.
It's intermittently. All right, so my sister's gone, leaving me on my own. You know what? Today I lost my mobile phone. I've had a mobile phone for like 30 years or something like that. I've never lost a phone. I've never had it stolen. I dropped it somewhere, but I only went 2 places. Um, and I couldn't find it. I'd only got it in March. So the phone's gone. Oh well, I won't cry over spilt milk. Um, but you know when you drop the phone, right? Or you think someone might find your phone and then leave it on, and then you ring it and say, hey, you found my phone. They say, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Not a backside. What happened is they switched the phone off. So you know that they're trying to steal the phone. But good job that I had insurance. If you don't insure your stuff, you'll never get it back, or you have to spend more money. And I'm not selling insurance, but if I was, I'd make a lot of money. I'll tell you that now, because it's worth it. It's worth it. Um, Making a claim and get my phone back. And I don't mean you do it with your provider alone. You can also do it with like your content insurance and stuff like that. If you look at what their terms and condition is, then you'll find that you might get that cover as well. I'm waffling because I want Debbie to get back on, and then we can carry on with toxic love. But if she doesn't, then I'll start anyway. So we was looking at what toxicity. I, am I going to say it this week? Last week I got it out. Toxicity. We look at toxic relationships and the signs of um, uh, someone being toxic. Um, okay, my sister's saying this on repeat. Um, don't know what that's about. You guys in the chat, is it coming through okay? Please give us a message. Give me a message, because if it's not, then what we might do is end the live and come back on again. Um, I need your feedback, people in the chat, please. I can see 2 of you there, so hey, how you doing, cuz? Is it coming through okay? Or am I coming through okay? I might have to just go on live myself and see. All right, okay, so my one sounds good. So Debbie, if you can hear me, my side's okay. And then yeah, I can't seem to hear you as well. So shall I get up and dance and sing? Please bear with us. We'll try and deal with this technical issue. Sometimes, you know, when you got a serious matter that you want to discuss, or you're helping somebody, all things go crazy. So please bear with us. There's 5 of you out there. Oh right, it's a little sluggish. Okay, so that's my wife. So all right, my mouth's not in sync. Okay, Debbie's back now. But is it delayed a lot, Catherine?
Okay, let's see if this is working now.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, okay. You might want to. Hello, Maurice. How you doing? You changed your one. Yeah, I was just talking. I was waffling on Debbie. And don't tell me you can't hear me again. Oh wow.
Yeah, it's still got a delay on it, and it's on repeat.
You know when you left, what did you do to leave?
No, I can hear you, but it's coming really slowly, like it's really delayed.
Right. Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave and then I'm going to come back as well.
I just refreshed the whole page. Hi everyone, me Debbie, and it is a lot of challenges today. So yeah, it's I can just hear myself on repeat, and I don't know why, to be quite honest. So I'm thinking that we might have to quit the live and then come back on, because I'm speaking now and then it's going to repeat again in a little while. So it's kind of really confusing and really quite annoying, if I'm honest. I hope that you guys are doing well out there.
How's that?
So I can hear you, but what's happening after when we speak, it's repeating it all over again.
Okay.
Is it doing that on your side? Can you hear like a repeat of it all?
No, not really. I just done a diagnostic and it said that there was nothing wrong with my internet. So
Okay.
I don't know what that's all about. Well, we'll just have to do it like how it is.
Yeah, but it's really confusing for me because after when I speak, I can hear myself and then I can hear hear you afterwards.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so like what you just said a little while ago about your diagnostic, I can hear that coming up now. And in a little while, I'm gonna hear like so it's repeating itself.
I um I wonder if it's. Have you got Instagram
Sorry,
open?
guys, just bear with us for a moment.
Have you got Instagram open?
Yeah, but it's got nothing to do with Instagram now. 1 minute. Let me see if I can mute that. Okay, let's have a look. Go on, Paul.
Is that any better?
Yeah, so what I did on Instagram, it's live on Instagram, and it had the volume on, so it was repeating on Instagram,
Right.
which is slightly delayed.
Right. So
That had
now
nothing to do with
it's
this platform. It had everything to do with Instagram.
yeah, well, I know that, Miss Sarah, you know. Yeah.
Well, welcome to Gym Time, everybody. Let's
Yay!
start. So yeah, welcome to Gym Time. Here we are once again with myself, Debbie, and my bigger brother, Maurice.
Yes. Yes, we're like that. We're mad like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So
no,
I'm glad that we sorted that out. I was like, what on earth is going on? But thank you guys for joining us once again, and for those of you who are on Instagram, welcome. I'm going to come over in a chat in a little while on Instagram. Welcome to those on Facebook, and yeah, I think that those are all the streaming platforms that we're on.
Yeah.
And live on YouTube. So so I heard you talking about the subject, which is we're doing part 2 of toxic love, because last week was simply not enough. We was talking about more about the toxicity in relationships, but we didn't talk about how you can kind of overcome that and become bigger and better, as it were, like work yourself through that. And if you're that person with that toxicity who's bringing that to the relationship, how you can change your mindset, be different, like literally, like I'm trying to think of the words right now, but how one can better themselves and not be in a toxic relationship. So yeah, we didn't do our disclaimer, but we'll do that very quickly. Just listen to us and all will be well. That's it. Full stop. No, you go ahead and do your disclaimer, Paul. And it seems like if you've frozen.
It's frozen.
Oh,
it says
no.
the connection was lost. Do you know what? It's funny that we went through a period where none of this happened. And it's not like I've got good internet. Remember where I was living before?
Don't lie.
Yeah, and
Don't
it was
lie.
just it was mad. It
you
was
got the cheap
mad.
package. You got the cheap package. That's what you got. 50 megabytes.
No. That's
whatever.
what you do. No, you see the one you got there?
Mm-hmm.
I got it there. No,
exactly.
I don't know why, but don't you find that your phone plays up now and then? Now more than ever before.
More than ever
the
before.
signal cuts out.
5G,
you can't get through to someone. Or it's just mad. And I've noticed that over the last few months that it's just picked up to be worse than ever before. And this is a clear sign that something's going on with the internet. But let me go with my disclaimer. We're here to motivate, empower you, encourage you, and get you to expand your mind, get you to try all, a new thing. If what you're doing isn't working, we're here to try to give you pointers and encourage you to overcome those obstacles in your relationship, in your marriage, in your family and friends. The advice that or the pointers that we give you, if they don't work when you apply it, don't cut my neck. Try to fine tune it to you. This is just, you can springboard off of what we're saying and apply it. So that's my disclaimer very quickly.
Yeah.
Over to you, Debbie.
My disclaimer is exactly the same. Just do not cut our necks. Like, I think that one of the things that we really want you guys to understand is that Gym Time it's get your motivation. So we're bringing stuff, but it's about what you get from it. You take whatever you desire to take from it. You apply it. If it doesn't work, it's just like with anything. If it doesn't work, then you just
Shine.
try something different. Do you get what I mean?
Hmm.
But tweak it, but don't just remain the same. If you've got challenges in your relationships, don't just stay the same. Don't stay stagnant. Just try something different. See if it works. If it doesn't, just keep on trying. So we're here just to really encourage you and inspire you to live like a more fulfilled, happier, stronger relationships. Do you know what I mean? It could be, we're primarily talking about spouses, husbands and wives, but you know, we touch a little bit into siblings and family and so forth. But our desire is for you guys as well as ourselves, because we're all on this journey to just live fruitful lives that, you know, we're happy and we're content and that we are giving of ourselves. So yeah, that's what gym time's about. It's about you getting your motivation and about us giving it. And that's why we have a chat, so you can be in the chat and we can have these conversations together. So yeah,
Absolutely.
that's my
I'm surprised that let's see, Sonia, are you out? Well, we've got, no, I don't know. Sonia, are you there? Let us know. And for you guys that are watching and you want to get into the chat, you got something to say, you can send a message on Instagram, but the direct is Maurice and Debbie at Gym Time, and you'll find that on YouTube. So your messages come up directly in front of us, as opposed to Debbie looking at your messages if you message on Instagram. Also, like and subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your family to come and listen in, and do watch our rewinds or our previous shows as well. So let's get on with this. What do you do if you're in a toxic relationship? Run, head for
Run.
the hills. You see, we both said the same thing. No, so I was reading, or part of what I had down from last week, and I'll read how they wrote it. So, what in the world do you do with all this information? Is it possible for a toxic relationship to change? While I can't help you come to that conclusion just in a few words. Here are a few things that you can consider as you move forward. Get out of the other person said. I like when I read that, because you're thinking what they're thinking. You're thinking, you know, trying to analyze them. So let me carry on and read this. Get out of the other person said. It's tempting to pick apart and analyze other people's behaviors, especially when someone hurts you greatly. But this is a complete waste of your time and emotional energy. Stop trying to figure them out, and instead focus on what you're bringing to the table.
Yeah, I like that.
You like that as well? I did.
I like
The thing is that we can, and what we were doing last week when we were looking at it, we can ignite this toxic person, you know,
that.
light them a fire, and
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah,
They get worse, you know,
absolutely.
especially when you are trying to analyze them, and then you're putting over what you want to put over, and then it goes from one extreme to another, you know, as opposed to problem solving. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you find sometimes we think it's so hard because, you know, we're not psychologists and this and that, but in every single show we've said the same thing, and it's about communication.
Mm-hmm.
There's a scripture that says, "A soft answer turneth away wrath," or wraith, whoever you want to pronounce it. It does, and it should. When you're in control of your emotions and you're in control of yourself, because no one, if you feel like you're being controlled by somebody, is that you've allowed them to you've given that control over you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you should be in control of you. So you man or you woman that kicks off as soon as someone says something and you're offended and you're you lost the plot. You've lost the plot. You know,
Mm-hmm.
even if there's, I mean, it hurts. Of course, you can't hide emotion. you know, and feelings. If you're hurt, you're hurt, you know. But in all of that, I've learned through things that I've gone through to look at me and see if that's the right outcome. You know, if I kick off, what do I expect to get back? What, the person's just gonna, yeah, it's okay. You could though, if you are in control of your emotions. Anyway, that's a whole different subject. There are two things on I love this. There are two things on planet Earth that you can control: your thoughts and your actions. Exactly what I did say just now.
Mm-hmm.
So get out of their head and spend more time in yours.
Yeah.
Looking at the solution. If when you're looking at you and you're asking yourself these questions, is this gonna change? How long have I tried? Do I want to be in this? What can we do? Because you see, if you're married, it's a we, it's not an I. Yeah. And that's when you're single-minded. If you're married, you cannot be single-minded. It's going to take a little while to get out of being single-minded, but you've got to remember that this is a joint venture now. You know, something what I'm going to read it in a little bit as well. I loved it. I'm going to jump ahead of myself and then I'll read it after.
Let me respond to what you actually said with what Healthline actually says, because that's the kind of language that I speak when I'm talking to any of my clients, and I really wanted to home in on that. And it's something that I've had to learn as well. And I think that we all go through this learning process. So it says, when you find yourself wanting to blame your partner for all the problems in your relationship, which people do, they like, if you only did this, if you only said that, do you get what I mean? It's always about what the other person's doing. It says, try taking a step back and looking at the potential motivators behind their behaviors. What's motivating them? What could be their triggers? What could be going on underneath it all? So instead of like just thinking that it's about you, because sometimes it's not about you. Sometimes it really isn't about you. They're not, but you're the person. I say it to people like this: if your partner's sick and they're going to vomit, you're the closest person that they're going to vomit on. Yeah. Because anybody who is going through what they're going through, if you're married, your spouse is the closest person to you. You are going to be in the firing line, period. Vice versa. Yeah. So don't forget that. Sometimes it's not personal though. It says, have they recently gone through a hard time at work? Had family drama weighing heavily on their mind? Could this be triggers? Could this be the reason why they might be acting out of sorts? But I tell you what can happen, because you're not being sensitive to that, and then you come off with your heaviness and then they respond with their heaviness, and then this is how you interact, because there's no proper communication. He or she's not telling you about challenges at work and stuff with the family and how much it's impacting upon them. Conversations are not happening. You seem insensitive. They're annoyed that you seem insensitive. They fire back. You fire back because they're having an attitude with you. This is where the toxicity comes in. It says these challenges, what I said, could be work related, could be family dramas. These challenges don't excuse bad behavior, but they can help you to better understand where it comes from. Yeah. So just because somebody else is acting toxic, don't mean that you must act toxic. Then it says, consider your own contributions, which I just spoke about. Do you tend to withdraw when upset instead of sharing your concerns? Do you criticize your partner if they don't do, like it says, chores the way you prefer, but if they don't respond or say or do whatever you would want them to? These habits can also play a part, and it's important to look at. It is really important to see where you impact upon the relationship. It's not just one-sided. It really isn't. So those are areas where, like we spoke last week about toxicity and what it actually looks like in a relationship. It's not just about arguing, it's about stonewalling, which is like blanking the person. It's about talking about them. You can be talking about them with your friends and family. You know, that's quite toxic. It's we spoke about various different things. We're not going to go into that. We're looking at solutions now. We're looking at how you might be impacting on the relationship, how you can be more sensitive. If you're the person that is demonstrating a toxic behavior, how you can really change that. So yeah, over to you, Paul. But I thought that I would add that to it because you spoke.
It's funny because the next bit is what you basically said. It said recognize that behavior is a language, and I again I like the language. Excuse the pun there. You know, recognize that behavior is a language. I found something that you said. I was, and I think I might still have residues of it. Excuse me, Catherine will have to tell me. I should say, why couldn't you say it this way, as opposed to that way? You know, almost wanting her, coaching her to say it how I wanted to hear it.
Right.
And on one side, there isn't anything wrong with that, but on another side, it is. So on one side, it's understanding the type of person I am in order to find a language that I then understand. But on the other side, it's for me to understand this is the language right now. And we're still, you know, we're learning about one another and we're growing. So the language will change in time. And so it, instead of trying to enforce that change, let the person speak how they speak. You know, and I don't mean like you're cussing everything as a swear word and everything else. Like some people will say that's all right with me, but it ain't all right for my ears.
Yeah.
I will not that I can't get past it. I will not get past that because we're communicating, you know. And someone said, well, that's how I communicate, ain't it? Well, do you talk to your children like that? And do you talk to your mum like that? If your mum is still here, or your dad like that, or all your friends? Do you speak to your work colleagues like that? Do you speak to your boss like that? Yeah. And if you answer yes to all of that, fair dues. But even, excuse me, even if you answer, well, no, for one, that means you have the ability to do it for the person that you say you love. You know, so anyway, recognize that behavior is language. Behavior is a language. If you're in a relationship with someone who repeatedly hurts or diminishes you, they're saying all you need to know, even if they aren't using words. And they said on this article, it says, read that again. Yeah. Recognize that behavior is a language. Behavior is a language if you're in a relationship with someone, including friends, family, etc. If you are in a relationship with someone who repeatedly hurts or diminishes you, they're saying all you need to know, even if they aren't using those actual words. Their behavior
Speaks volumes.
Speaks volumes. They said, ask yourself, and even ask the partner, because if they're honest, which they should be, they'll answer yes or no. Are we in a toxic season? Yeah. And I like what they were saying, because they're going to go on and they're going to talk about personally about their self. And they said, like I shared earlier, my wife and I have been through toxic seasons in our marriage. Sometimes life is just incredibly hard, and one or both of you aren't handling it well. If you're going through a big transition, having children, or experiencing loss or illness, you might need to hang in there and extend some extra grace. Remember that the earlier you get your remember that the earlier you get your feelings, hurt, and concerns out in the open, the sooner things can heal. See, this
Mhm.
is talking about resolution.
Mhm.
Yeah? It's not saying soon as it's happening and nothing that, like, you know, their behavior is speaking all this volume, I must get out.
Mhm.
But to you, you'll know what to do. Yeah, because what I feel and what you feel are two different things. You know, I'm not orchestrating that if you're in a marriage and it's toxic every single day, get out. There is resolutions. You know, there will always be a way of healing. You know,
Absolutely.
the most I think for me, I think the most important thing is being transparent and honest. You know, sometimes we get into this rut. Well, we know that he's gonna kick off or she's gonna say this, or and we get into this fear mongering stage in our heads that we're fearful to speak what we want to say, you know, how we feel. But
Mhm.
you're allowed to speak. You know, when we were in school and we want to answer the question for those that was intelligent, for those ones that weren't, you know, you ain't putting you up your hand, you know. Yeah, we put our hand up because we want to say something, we want to answer it, we, you know, because we think we might know the answer, or even if we didn't, we were saying what we think it is. Yeah, we put up our hand when we say 2 and 2 is 6, miss, and she says no, that's wrong. You know, oh, oh, and she says no, it's 4, and you think, oh, okay, and you feel all right to. For some people, you're as a child, it's okay if you go wrong. It's
Mhm.
okay if you don't have the right answer, but it's not okay to be silent. Yeah. So if you're in a relationship, it's not okay to just be silent with your feelings and not, you know, you just hurt me. And every time you just, there is a way. And that, I said it earlier, a soft answer turn for a wrath. If this person wants to kick off and you're talking nice and calm to them, leave them to themselves. Leave them to themselves, and or you know, maybe it's not the right time. Okay, I'll come back and I'll talk to you when you're ready to listen. Oh, what do you mean when I'm ready to listen? No, you don't seem to be in that place where you want to listen to what I'm trying to say, and it's okay. Or do you want to talk? Do you see what I just done there? Yeah, that should knock that person back off the perch of up here. You know, unless you do want to talk. You know, now they have the opportunity to say one of two things: no, I don't want to talk right now, or yes, let's talk.
Mm.
If they say no, I don't want to talk right now, it's okay to say, well, in a few hours, or tomorrow, or because I want us to schedule this because we're going through. We are going through, you know, and you don't seem happy, and I'm not happy, and you might find by those little things you're saying spurts or sparks off a conversation right there, because you're not
Absolutely.
forcing it. You're saying we can come back. Oh, look, I'm not going to schedule in. Yeah, I'm not that. What am I scheduling to talk to you? Because
Hmm.
you don't want to talk right now. So if you're not talking now, and we've got a problem, we're going to have to talk about it, or the problem just gets worse. Dare you have a leak in your house and you say, oh, it's only a little leak. Yeah. And
Exactly.
you don't fix it. You'll find what happens over time with that leak. Yeah. A wiring isn't done properly. Yeah. And you say, oh, it's been all right. I put some tape around it. When you're at work and the house is burning down, right? Whose fault was it? What, the wire? No, it's your fault because you saw the wire was loose. You just fixed it up a particular way. You can't just itch up a relationship and expect it to work.
Absolutely.
Yeah? There's no relationship without some form of issues. There's none. But you've got to
Doesn't
listen.
exist.
I used to jump out of relationships as soon as I didn't like. Eh, If I counted how many relationships that I jumped out, would be here only for 5 minutes. Yeah. because I didn't like this and I didn't like that and I didn't like that and I want this, that, flipping heck is exhausting. Because guess what? You meet someone else and they have the same types of traits or worse, or I won't say better. They'll have better things, but they will have the same type of things because you never learned how to deal with the conflict. Or I think it's conflict management. You didn't learn. So you want to get out. But the person that hasn't put their hand on you, they just don't do what you want them to do. Well, are you doing all what you're supposed to do? Yeah, I am. Then tell me what she said or he says that he has a problem with. Yeah, put them in front of me and you'll see that they will say when this or that. It might be that you sit down and every time you're watching TV together and the person wants to hug up, you say, come on. Or she's washing up and you come and you're hugging. I remember I was in a relationship like that. Come on from work, hard day's work, loving husband. And I went to put my arm around her. I said, oh, come on. And they used to stand back like, they never, maybe they didn't know I look at them. I stood back and I used to look like, really? Really? I come home from work, not even a peck. Yeah? When you want it, I must do it. Hell no. That's what it does. It causes resentment. But had I been who I am now, I'd say, baby, I just come home from work and I'm trying to give you some loving. What's wrong with that? Is that you don't like that? Now that gives them food for thought. Yeah. Oh, I just wasn't a huggy sort of person. All right, when you finish, you give me a hug then, yeah? Did you see the humor in there now? Yeah. I've changed it. And if they don't, I'm all right in myself because I love myself. You don't want to do it. I will revisit that one way or another over the time. Like me, I'm an elephant. I don't forget. I'm going to come back and revisit the problematic issues because otherwise it becomes toxic. You're in a toxic love. I won't even say triangle. You're just in a toxic love relationship and it's not good for you.
Can I go back to something that you said earlier on, which I thought was really important to kind of revisit? So you said in that article that the person was saying that they're going through a toxic season. And it's good to identify that they identified that it was a toxic season, because some people can just turn around and say, I'm in a toxic relationship, I need to get out. What makes it be a toxic relationship versus it being a toxic season? Toxic seasons happen throughout your marriage. There is going to be that conflict. So when I shared earlier on about it could be due to work issues, it could be family drama or whatever, and that person's not able to deal with it, so their responses can come across quite toxic, quite harsh, whatever. The reason why it prolongs is because the reason why it becomes a toxic relationship and not a season is because that situation could have come up, or whatever situations come up, that person isn't able to handle it. You're not really being sensitive. There's no real communication, and it's backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. And then this is something else that happens. It's where you might dwell on the past. So things that has happened already, come and gone, and you go back to that, and it causes more conflict, more arguments, and you're not moving forward, because both of you are stacking up things that each other has done, and instead of dealing with it and coming to some resolution, both of you are harboring things which causes resentment, causes bitterness, unforgiveness, and now you're in a full-blown toxic relationship. Toxic relationships exist because there hasn't been any communication, there hasn't been no resolution. And so because there's no resolution, both people get angry, get annoyed and frustrated with each other, and constantly go at each other. So remember, you are going to have conflicts in your relationship. There are going to be periods of times where the relationship may seem like if it's toxic, but it doesn't mean that you've got a toxic relationship. You can tell when it's a toxic relationship because it's just constantly ongoing. It's very hard for you to get any respite. It's hard for you to really love on each other really well. You go through periods where you're not sleeping in the same room, where there's a lack of sex. It just becomes worse and worse. Do you get what I'm saying? So I really wanted to highlight that, and I wanted to highlight what this Healthline article says. It says, don't dwell on the past. It says, part of repairing the relationship will likely involve addressing past events. So if you are going through challenges in your relationship, there might be a place where you might pause things so that you guys can be on a better level playing field. But in order to progress past, what they're basically saying is that as part of repairing the relationship, you might have to address some past events. It says, but this shouldn't be the sole focus of your relationship moving forward. Resist the temptation to constantly refer back to negative scenarios, since this can leave both of you tense, frustrated, and right back where you started. So recently, there was a couple that was speaking to me, and they had broken up. And I didn't think that this was going to be a long-term break, to be quite honest. And I was absolutely right. A lot happened in a short period of time in their relationship. And so there was a lot of arguments. There was a lot of conflict because a lot of things were going on. There was a death. There was one of them, the husband lost his job. The wife's a close family friend died. So there was a lot that was going on at one given time. So they was constantly bashing heads. And then he moved out, and I think it was just for like a couple of weeks or something like that. But I knew that it was because there was so much that was going on, and there was the lack of communication. Now, prior to that, them breaking up, I said to them, when coming back together, I spoke to the woman actually. When coming back together, what you need to do is not address all of the things that came up that caused the conflict at that time. So let things simmer down. Don't just start saying, yeah, but you said this and you did this and blah, 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 because you're going to go right back to where you was at. Think about the things that are really fundamental for you guys to address. Not some of the, I was going to say, yeah, you left your socks over there, but for some people that's a real, I don't know, I find it really strange, but for some people it's a real deal breaker. It's like, no, if you drop your boxers and your shorts there, I can't work with that. In my mind, that's crazy, but it is true for some people. But look at the fundamentals, look at the things that are foundational, the things that you really need to resolve. Look at the things that are deal breakers, if there are such things. Don't look at the minors. It's the minor things that people talk about and argue about that is so irrelevant. It's not going to have no bearings on anything. But look at the fundamental things that needs to happen, needs to change and set. When I say boundaries, I mean it from a perspective of set a plan of action. Do things in a way that is going to work for both of you. Like when you say boundaries, you don't want that person to overstep that mark, because this is kind of how this is going to make me think, and this is how it's going to make me feel. And you said it earlier on, Paul, when you're in a relationship with someone, there are certain things that people do and it really irks you, and you're like, I don't want that in our relationship. And what is crazy about somebody who is saying, yeah, but that's what I've always done. In my mind, I'm like, that's kind of crazy, because that's what you've always done. Doesn't mean that it's right, though. It certainly doesn't mean that it's right for that relationship either, And like at the moment, I'm writing a book on resilience, and and part of it, I was looking at how people will have conversations with you and then tell you that this is how I've always been. But if you was brought up in trauma, if you was brought up with some kind of molestation, if you was brought up in a warped way, if there was something that happened in your childhood and you've always been like that throughout your whole entire life, does not mean that it's right, because it could be
Mm,
attached to some kind of trauma. Could be, an abuse is traumatic, you know abandonment is traumatic, rejection is traumatic. So this could have been your story from childhood, and you've always had this
mm,
particular kind of attitude, and you've managed to go through life with it, not people probably highlighting it and you not changing it, because you're thinking, oh, people are just trying to change me, people are just trying to change you. But supposing that that very attitude is very warped and is coming from a space of brokenness, it doesn't mean that what you have been doing your whole entire life. Like, I had a conversation with someone recently, and I think that this is why it kind of really impacted on my mind, that I put it in the book, that their behavior, how they've been their whole entire life, they didn't see it as a problem until really God started to address that in them. All their
mm,
life, you're in your 50s, all your whole entire life, you had no idea that the mindset that you've got was warped. One, because people didn't tell you.
mm,
You had yes people around you. And two, because when it was addressed, you ran. Do you get what I'm saying? And I found that
mm.
really
Yeah,
to be profound. And I don't want to go off on a tangent with that, but that's kind of like my forte when it comes to trauma and dealing with psychosomatic counseling is my thing, really dealing with past traumas. And I think that when you're looking at your relationship and the toxicity that's in your relationship, that's why it's important to take a step back. What is it that I might be doing that could be adding to this
yeah.
toxic relationship, rather than just
Hmm.
pointing the finger at that individual, because they could just be responding to your toxicity and what you are doing. Do you get what I mean? And then you're looking
So
at them and you're saying that they've got toxic behavior, but you have to address you. You have to, when there's toxicity in the relationship, you have to think, what is it that I might be doing to add to this toxicity? Somebody can't just be toxic by themselves.
so so do you think that um everybody has a bit of toxicity in them?
I think yeah, I think that we
Mm.
can. And I think that that's why it's important to check yourself. Do you get what I
Uh, uh,
mean?
I was gonna go to the chat. I didn't even know that there was chat. Sonia said
Yeah,
that she agreed with me with whatever I was saying at the time when I was saying it. Um,
can't get the
Trevor,
chat up. Oh right, I
it,
got
sa- it says all you want is nookie. All you want is nookie nookie. LOL. I don't know what was being chat there. Oh,
it.
oh, that might be when I come and I was hugging. No, I didn't want
Oh
a
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't want nookie. I just come in being a loving husband, you know, because and I'm going to read something in a minute, and this is what it was for me, you know. How can I be a caring, loving husband? And so I would create these things. You know, it's like life is like a stage, yeah. Anyhow, you know, being in sales, you got to portray to be this character, you know, confident, yeah, and they're selling these points. Well, that's the same thing in a relationship. Somewhat, I'm not telling you that you're pretending. You what did I see as what a good husband would do? Yeah, so I'm already loving. So what do? I need to show it. So I come through the door instead of saying, "You're right," and drop my bag, briefcase, tool bag, whatever else it is, and say, "Yeah, I'm gonna go and have a shower." I come downstairs. Oh, thanks for dinner. Oh, football's on, boxing's on. And I give you no attention. I don't
Mhm.
think that's the way. I think you're supposed to give each other attention. You come through the door, hi, baby, you know, not necessarily that voice because you might have a stronger voice. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. You know, but you acknowledge one another. These
Mhm.
little nuggets. Yeah. Uh, it, I like, for instance, we say brownie points. You know,
Yeah.
how can I score some brownie points? Well, how can you? You know, if you don't show any attention both ways. Brownie points ain't just for, to me, we use this language, isn't just for the woman, it's for the
Mhm.
man as well. You know, so um I just quickly read the, oh, you read the rest of them, and I want to read this bit on here. Trevor's that backwards.
Yeah. So Trevor says that backwards and forwards can shake the foundation loose. Absolutely, can shake the foundation loose of your relationship. And he says we must remember the commitment to each other. And it goes without saying, Trevor. I
Definitely.
think that society is given people get out clauses nowadays, and it's so easy just to not be fully committed, even though they say their marital vows. People are just not committed in the way that they should be. Some people just don't want to deal with just the foundations, no matter what. Absolutely. I think that when it comes to the foundation, it kind of rocks the core of people. And if they're not emotionally stable, they're not able to deal with it. And finally, you said, and play it in your mind first sometimes.
Your
I'm
mind,
not
exactly. That's what you do. You know, that's why
in that
when it's
relation.
toxic,
Sorry.
huh?
What was that in relation to?
In relation of what you'd like to do. So you think, okay, I'll go home and I'll hug my
Right,
wife,
right.
hug
Yeah.
my husband, I'll
Hmm.
rub their feet, you know, if they like feet rub. Um,
Yeah.
or you know what, if she hasn't cooked, I'm gonna cook. Yeah. Or I'm gonna join her in the kitchen,
Hmm.
yeah, and smack her bottom and do all these little things. And if she likes smacking, because like Catherine don't like me smacking her bottom, I'm not allowed. She don't like that. She don't like the spanking. No, she don't like spanking. Yep. But anyway, that's a whole different subject, eh? um, um,
But yeah, I think that these are the things that you need to find out about your partner, though,
mm.
because like I said, and we've shared it on other shows, that what you did in a previous relationship doesn't mean that it's going to work and happen in this relationship. And
And that's
so
why I want to say what I'm gonna say in a minute when you finish that.
yeah, and so when you come into a new relationship, it's about you getting to know the likes and dislikes of that partner, because that's where toxicity can come in, where you are being a certain way to the partner, they're not receiving it, and then you have an attitude with your partner because they're not receiving it. And this is where toxicity
Hmm.
can seep in. 'Cause it's like, I'm doing this to show you my love and my affection, but you're not receiving it. Communication is very key, very important. Go on, Paul. Fundamental.
Shiva, stop it. Yeah. So let me read this. It says, paint a picture of the kind of relationship you want. You might be used to toxicity that you don't even know what a healthy relationship looks like.
Yeah, come
And
on.
and that's, it's so true. You know,
Absolutely.
what you think is healthy is unhealthy to others, or to what
Hmm.
um it should look like. Yeah.
Hmm.
Should it look like that he comes in and throws his stuff down on the floor and expects you to pick it up? No. But if you've always done that, to you, you think it's healthy. But you tell someone, like, they say, no, he's not supposed to throw down his stuff just in the hallway and go upstairs. As he's going upstairs, he's kicking off one shoe here, sock there, and everywhere. Oh, well, it's all right. You know, no, it's not all right. So you've justified that person's behavior. Yeah. So guess what? They'll always do that same thing because that's what you've been used to, someone treating you like that. You know, maybe you didn't start off like that and you open up your mouth and you're not with that person anymore because they're clapping in your mouth.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Then the next person, they thump you in your mouth. So guess what? You get in another relationship and that happens because you don't want to slap in the mouth and you don't want to thump in the mouth, or that one punches you in the eye. Then you go through all these relationships and you think it's best if I don't say anything. Yeah. The woman clap you in your face. Yeah. You come through the door, you go to kiss her, she says, "Oh, your breath smells," clap. Yeah. And you think to yourself, what do you hit me for? Your breath stinks. Yeah. Next thing you know, you stink. Anyway, that relationship ends, you go to another one. She said, "Ooh, you smell." And you said, "Well, I've been working. I'm going to go and shower." "Yeah, but you stink." No. After a while, either one or two things are going to happen. You're going to come in and wash your skin. Yeah. Because you really do smell. Yeah. Or you address it and say, "Look, I've been working all day. If you don't like the smell, then go and sit over there or something like that. I'm going to shower. Don't worry. I'm tired." Yeah. I don't know why I use that voice tonight.
Tired.
I normally do a Jamaican patois voice. But I'm going, let me just, because I digress. So you might be used to a toxic relationship and you think it's healthy. So it says, give yourself permission to dream about how you actually want to be treated. A healthy, supportive marriage only works if you wake up every day thinking, how can I make my partner's day better? Yeah. We've been in this relationship for 3 years, 2 years, 10 years, and you're just surviving. You're just together because you're together, because we're married. But there's no chemistry, really. Yeah. You go to hug, get off me. You got to have sex, there is no sex. Yeah. Don't sleep in bed beside me. You sweat. You smell. Yeah. You sweat too much. I'm sleeping in the other room. I can't stand the sight of you. You got me mad. I'm going next door. And that's the way you're living. You're just surviving and you're surviving and not living. It's time to look at your relationships. Look at the toxicity in there. If something's toxic, they put up warning signs. Toxic, spill, stay away. Hi, Michael. Do not cross the line. Toxic spill, whatever. Why? It's a no-go area because it's dangerous. You can absorb something that can kill you. And living in a toxic relationship, it's slowly taking things out of you. Certain things are dying. Don't just, well, that's just the way it is. It isn't just the way it is. Find that time to talk. Find that time to resolve. Got to resolve these issues. Men out there, you need to resolve the issue. Don't make the issue worse. Women out there, don't make the issue worse. You need to resolve it. Because guess what? You think the next relationship's going to be with that toxic behavior or some type of or a problem in that relationship. You think that you're going to go into one and there's no problems, and you jump out of that one. And some of you know this already. We've been doing it from our teenage years. Some of you, you've got what looks like a healthy relationship or is a healthy relationship. Well done for getting to that place where you two can bounce off of one another. Because you should be. Why get into a relationship with someone and you're with them for a couple of years, 10 years, 5 years? What did you learn about yourself when you got out? Did you get out for domestic violence or some other issue? But what did you learn about yourself that you don't bring any negativity somewhat into the next one? Learn from what you've done. And if you have been with this person for a period of time. This is just my opinion, for a long period of time, and it's not ignited. There's no ignition. There's no gas, yeah, and no lighter. Find it. Find that. I won't say find that love again, because I believe that love is it's a constant thing. It's just that we don't visit it. You know, find that love. Find that person that you fell in love with in the first place. When you say I love you, was it just for their ears? When you said I love you, was it for years? That sounds like a little poem right there, sir. Was it for their ears or was it for their years? You know, because love, unless there's a whole lot of abuse, it's supposed to be constant. When you say I do, a bit like one of our captions, when you say I do, don't think that there's not going to be issues. If everything was so easy, all of us would be the same. There would be none of this. Wouldn't be any of this, because we know it all. But it isn't. There are issues that take place. And I look at things like this now, especially having a stroke. It presents itself. What am I supposed to learn here about myself and about this other person? Yeah. I try to look at that. I try to problem solve in me first. I'm not saying I'm perfect. Oh gosh, I can be snappy as well. Go back to the show about menopause. Men, do they have cycles? Yeah. And then, yeah, I can be ratty. Yeah, I can snap. I saw something in Catherine the other day, and I don't know if she identified something about me at that point. And she don't know that I'm going to say this, but I'm going to say it so she knows. I snapped. I was snappy. Yeah, I think it might have even been today or yesterday. I was snappy. And I picked up, for me, I said, you said it like this. And she said, I didn't know. Now, I wasn't going to harp on about it, that you said it like this. But she said, when she expressed herself and she said it, the gentleness of the way that she put that point across. The same problem I was having is snap, because I was snappy. When she put it back to me, it was so fluffy and nice. I never had an issue again. Because the way she translated that information to me, it hit right where it needed to. And she, even if she did do it, the way she translated it afterwards, it didn't matter anymore. I identified that I was snappy anyway. I was on my cycle. Not really. But let me just finish reading this bit here. Yeah. A healthy, supportive marriage only works if you wake up every day thinking, how can I make my partner's day better? And if they think the same way about you, it's not a 50-50 split of effort and love and intention. It's given 100% each way. Yeah. You imagine, people say 50-50, but if you're inputting that 100% of yourself and they're inputting or pushing that 100% of their self, you got 200%. That's a good equation right there. 200%, not just 50-50, because you're only giving half of yourself. Yeah. But learn. I don't know why this is echoing in my head. Learn from your past mistakes and relationships and the things that you have done and the toxicity that you stayed in, that you're looking for. Sometimes people think that people don't care because they're not coming. We're going to read your comments in a minute, Michael, because they're not coming at you in the same way as somebody else did. So because they're not coming in that way, they don't care. But maybe they're just not that type of person. And the toxic behavior you're looking for is not in that person. Yeah. So you have to change your mind from wanting all this bickering and headache and noise and say, wow, this person ain't like that. And I need to deal with them on that merit, that they're not like my past relationships. I'm guilty. It's charged because I did it. Years. Always a drama. Always a drama. Yeah. EastEnders had nothing on my life. Always a drama. Until I said in my 40s, notice how long, enough is enough. My marriage doesn't don't have it doesn't it's not just smooth sailing. It has its faults, it has its issues, but because we both have the same type of mindset of, you know what, longevity, longevity, and that we're going to resolve, and we are prayerful, we pray, man. Sometimes that's what you need. I'm telling you, well, you always need it, to be able to say, Lord, thank you that you kept my mouth from saying what I wanted to say. Yeah. Thank you, Lord, that I didn't react the way I want to do, But so 100% each way. Everybody wins. Everybody wins when you think about putting each other's needs in front of your own. Yeah. Selfless. You're worth having. Yeah. You, me, we are worth having an extraordinary relationship. We are. We deserve it. Yeah. Life gives you bull kick and donkey kick. Yeah. And we deserve. We have to pay the bills. We have to, and the children are nagging in your ears. And love on your significant other. And some of you, you're separated or thinking about separating because it didn't go the way or didn't look like you wanted it. Take it from me, as a divorcee. It's no joke to start all over again, to find somebody, because and you find that that's not the person, and that's not the person, and you're looking for someone to be there to comfort you. You want sex, so you want sex, and this person wants a relationship. What are you going to do then? Some men and some women, you pretend, you're pretentious. Yeah, I like you, I love you, I love you, you're so nice. Yeah, when all you want is sex, but you wasn't honest enough to say, I want to fornicate. Yeah, I don't want nothing else with you. And some of you are like that. There's no depth to you then. There's no substance to you if that's all you want. Well, there's women out there, there's men out there. No. There's no substance to you, because if that's all it is, because relationships are more than sex.
Yeah, but that just feels a void. They have a void, and they're just using that as a vice, really.
But it goes back to that toxic relationship that you might have been in with that particular person. So this is your true life, but it's not. Anyway, I'm going to finish this one. You're worth having extraordinary relationships, even if you don't know that what that looks like right now. Talk to a trusted friend or counselor. You can't move from toxic relationships to healthy ones overnight. It takes time and practice. Open up with a trusted, kind, and wise friend who can help you get some perspective. You might even need to see a professional therapist. I tell other people how to do relationships for a living, and I still regularly see a professional themselves. Yes, it's uncomfortable and expensive and hard work. Do it anyway. You can't afford not to. Learn new relational tools, relational skills, just like anything else in life, can be learned. You might need to learn skills like assertiveness, boundaries, you said that earlier on, self-forgiveness, confrontation, or vulnerability. One of the best ways to do this is to meet with a mental health professional. But there are tons of books and podcasts and other free resources. And as with any new tools, the key to getting better at using them is practice. Yeah. One thing I say to you, if you're not very touchy-feely with your significant other, sometimes just hug. I would challenge you to look at each other in the face, stand there, look at each other like this. Yeah. And then give him or her a hug. It is a powerful, powerful tool. Yeah. I feel very emotional about this actually. Sometimes that's all me and my wife will do. Before I came on here for the podcast, what do you think I've done? She's washing up the rest of the stuff. I said, I'm going to go and do the show now. She said, have a good show. We hugged and kissed. We're in the same house. What do I want to do that for? What, because I'm wet and I'm just, oh, you're just, nah, man, you're not manly. I'm manly, trust me. Yeah. I'm manly every single time that I do that. Guess why? Because I love my wife. Yeah. I'm showing her that she means something to me, even though I'm coming away and I'm going to do this show. Yeah. Whatever she processes in her mind, she'll process in her mind. I'm not in her head. It's what I want to do. I want her to know, I love you, baby. You look good. Our conversation today, what she said to me when she put these particular trousers on, it was funny. I won't tell you. It was just funny. But for her to be able to come to me and say certain things, you know, then I know that she's cool with me. She will show all of her, if not all, most of her vulnerable side. That's what you want. You think I want nagging my ears? You're mad. Yeah. I don't want to come home. I remember those times. I don't want to come home. I take the long, not with my wife now. Not this one. No, no, I'm joking, baby. Yeah. Not with Catherine. But I was in places like that, relationships and marriage, where I don't want to come home because it's too much noise. Yeah. Not she wants to talk to me. Yeah. You left the house and you left the dishes in the sink. Shut up. Yeah, that's all you want to say. Shut up. Yeah? No, it's the truth. That's what you want to do. Or worse words. Yeah. Why not? Okay, you left them in there. I mean, if it's a pattern, then you can address it differently. Yeah. But don't nag. Yeah. He didn't put the bin out.
And it call you at work and you're thinking, oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
She's calling me.
Yeah.
I just came downstairs and there's dishes in the sink. You left out this morning without washing out the dishes.
Listen, I had someone ringing my work. Yeah, about I want to talk to. I want to say. I'll just say what I'm saying. You know, she'll know who she is. Yeah, by me saying this. No one knows. There's those that will know, but that's it. You know, I want to talk. I want to talk to Paul. Yeah, and I said that deliberately for a reason. I want to talk to Paul, to my supervisor. Yeah, I want to talk to. Get my. You're mad. Yeah, in my work, you know how embarrassing that was. Yeah, and you just kept on ringing. So they said to me, "I feel sorry for you." You know,
feel sorry
a woman.
For you.
Yeah, a woman's telling me she feels sorry for me. You think I want to go home? That was toxic.
Yeah, that is toxic.
Because now you're bringing in my work. You're coming in my safe place and bringing all your toxicity to the people around me and
Mhm.
embarrass me.
I'm going to
I
tell you
felt,
about a toxic situation that someone was telling me about in a minute, but I want to read Michael's.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So he said, "This is so interesting. It's just the way I am, is the absence of God, and therefore cult thinking." Um, I think that was in relation to what I was saying earlier on. He says also, "If you live with me, you should accept me who I am." It's an excuse for abuse, and when you were speaking earlier on about you being a bit sharp or whatever you said, miserable. He said, "Thanks for your honesty, Paul." And he also said, "This is the way I am." I think he was repeating what he said. He said, "If you love me, you should accept me for who I am." It's nonsense thinking. I'm gonna speak on that in a minute. Trevor said, "I always say that it's the way you deliver what you need to say. It will go
Mm.
far." Absolutely, I'm in total agreement with you. Sonia said amen to something. And amen.
The one
All
above,
your
Michael
faithful.
said, sacrifice.
And Michael says sacrifice is the key. And also he said sorry for the bad spelling. I just wanted to say thank you guys for being in the chat. It's normally women that are in the
Absolutely.
chats. So yeah, ladies, the men they have one up on us, or two up on us. But it's nice to see men in the chat. I wanted to go back to what Michael said in regards to
The nonsense
um
thinking.
was it this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you love me, you should accept me for who I am. It's nonsense thinking. I agree to some degree, but I think that we are all changing, we're all evolving. And I also believe that when you enter into a marriage, you are that way, but I don't think you stay that way. I think
Hmm.
that, I've said it before, I think that when you meet somebody, you meet their representative. And then when you get married, now and you're living with that person, you really truly see who they are. And there are habits that people have that is not good. I'm like I said, I'm one of those women that find it difficult to have a problem with like somebody leaving like their clothes just on a chair or whatever. Those kind of things don't really bother me. Like you mentioned it earlier on about picking up after your partner and so forth. That's the way how I've been, and I've never had a real problem with it. The whole toilet seat scenario. There's people that will like kick up a big fuss and a big stink over something like that. There's certain things that I see and I just do. It's not something that really frustrates me. But that isn't to say that in another relationship that isn't going to be a problem. I'm just saying for me, my husband dropping his bundle, his socks and his boxer shorts and things like that, that has never been something that has really irritated me. I don't know why. I really
I
don't.
no,
I
I
don't
think
see it
because
as I don't see it as
you got all the sons, you got all boys as well. And I think this is just my thinking. You from young, you've been cleaning up after them and picking
Mhm.
up. So and they drop their stuff in their room and you go in there and you'll say you shouldn't leave the stuff like I know you used to say to them to clean up their room, but you would just scrape it up and just do it because that was the mummy in you.
Yeah, I
And I
just
think
there's certain things that don't just doesn't bother me, and I don't think it warrants argument. I don't think that's just me, but I'm not saying for somebody else that that's not going to be an issue in their relationship. Another thing that you said, which I thought was really good. Sorry, Michael said that I didn't agree with that. What I text, it was an example of what some people say in a relationship. Absolutely, thanks for clarifying
yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Um, you also said about being in a relationship and like staring the person in their eyes, just sitting down and hugging them and stuff like that. I remember there was a season where me and Gary was watching Married at First Sight, and that was part of their exercises that they had to do
Okay.
in order to foster real intimacy.
Mm.
in the relationship. And I think that, just sitting down and looking at that person in their face for a considerable period of time,
You'll see
it
how ugly they really are.
it
No, not really.
evokes emotions. It really evokes
No, I
emotions.
know.
I
I know
mean,
it
that
does.
can make you be all tearful and stuff like that, which is kind of really crazy. But I agree with what you were saying in relation to really being in a relationship and understanding the spouse and taking out time. All of that I'm in total agreement with. I think that the challenges that people experience, they're going to experience them in the relationship. So I was having a conversation with someone recently about toxicity in the relationship and what that can look like. So sometimes you might not see somebody being toxic in the relationship until something significant happens. So we was talking about when a relationship starts to break down, and if you've been in relationships with someone where if the relationship's broken up, that person will cuss you out, they will call your family, cuss you to the family, call your friends, cuss you to friends, and all of that. And then you meet somebody and you've separated with them or broken up or whatever, and they don't do that. The assumption could be the latter, the person who doesn't do anything, doesn't love you, and the person that does kick up a storm does love you. That's you.
Absolutely.
That's you believing that the toxicity is love versus the
There you
person who
go.
nothing is someone
Absolutely.
who doesn't love you. And you see this all the time. You see it on social media, you see it in the films, you see it everywhere, where you're in a relationship, even married, whatever. And when you separate, that person smashes out your windows, in all because of love, all because of love. Smash your windows, cuss you out, call your friends, burn your clothes, throw your clothes over the balcony, all in the name of love. To me, that is not love.
That's not love.
That is not love. That's
I
toxic
I
behavior.
know it's not love because the
It's
pitchfork
toxic.
in my car, pitchfork my lights out, pitchfork my windows, come up, kick off my door, yeah, and ramsackle my yard, yeah.
Absolutely.
Listen, this is how how I knew that was toxic, right? They took I had a picture of me and my son on there, and she took the barbecue sauce and just put it over my face and not my son's. Yeah. It's later on they told me they put my toothbrush in the toilet. It's a good job that I had new ones anyway. Yeah. I never used it because I had
but,
a feeling.
but that's all toxic behavior.
Yeah.
But somebody will say, turn around. If you look at the two scenarios, you look at somebody who is doing all of that, go into your house, rip up your clothes, cut them up, drag out everything, stab up your sofa, do all of that, hang your
Wow.
cat, do all of that, all in the
In the
name of
name
love.
of love.
And then when somebody remains humble, doesn't shout, don't burn your clothes, don't
Look
call
out
your
your
mum and your
windows.
dad and your uncle, auntie, and your ancestors. Yeah, don't cuss anybody out. Yeah, that person will be seen as somebody who did not love in the first place. That's why they're not going crazy. If they loved you, they will go crazy. If they loved you, they will hang your cat. If they loved you, they will burn your sofa. Toxic behavior.
Yes, that's right.
Toxic behavior. That's what it is. Toxic behavior. And if you don't understand it, let me say it again, it is toxic behavior. Somebody who loves you should not be doing any of that
To harm you.
under
And
the
it's tough.
name, under the
Yep.
umbrella of they love me. And there are people that are out there that think if they're not doing that, they don't love me. And so you know what they do? They do stuff to get a reaction to see if that person is going to demonstrate that kind of behavior, to prove to themselves that that person loves them. Yeah,
This
because
person really does love me.
they think that if they do not demonstrate that they do not love them, that's toxic behavior. And when I was saying it to somebody the other day, they said they have never, can you believe this, you're a grown adult in your, I think, 48, 50, something like that, and you said you have never seen it like that. Do you know why? Because Hollywood has sold a lie. That's what Hollywood has done. You watch all of these films and you see if they're not willing to run you down the road and throw a brick after your car. Do you get what I mean? Or shoot out your windows or do something mad in order to show you that they love you. And then
What
go on.
no, what they say is it's a jealous rage because of love.
Yeah, but
Because
then
they
that's why
love
you end
because
up
they
killing
love you.
somebody.
Yeah, because of love. But love ain't good. Listen, if you love somebody,
That is not love.
we went through it scripturally, and that love is kind.
Love
Love
is
is not
kind.
self-seeking.
No,
Yeah?
love is
So
patient.
you
Love
see,
is
even
kind.
even just that one alone, love is kind. Them are wicked sitting there, I do. Yeah, that's wicked. I'm
It's true.
serious.
Will
It's
you
wicked.
call
Yeah,
up
but it's
everyone in
love.
your phone? Call up everyone in your phone and tell them what you did, which is lies, and what you said, which is lies, and try and paint you as somebody, paint you as Lucifer himself. Do you get what I mean? To make yourself look good. It's toxic behavior. Calling your mum, calling your
Toxic.
sister, calling your brother, calling your friends, calling your ancestors from the grave, calling everybody to let them know that you are horrible. That is not
See,
that is not
that's why
kind. That is
there are
not
those
loving.
relationships, and I think we've covered it. I don't remember if we've done a show about abuse. Yeah, if we haven't, we will, because a while back I saw something and understood this thing. Some people say, like what we're saying right now. Do you know a man will really love a woman? Yeah, and why would he hit her? Yeah,
Absolutely.
and I don't want to go too deep on this one.
Jealous rage.
Yeah, and
Jealous
then
rage.
afterwards he says,
He
"I
loves her.
love you."
I
Yeah,
love you. That's why you made me
it,
do it. You made me hit you. You did that.
yeah, yeah. But you because no one is questioning that you love the person, but it's how you're translating love. That is not love,
That's not
but
love.
you've identified it as. I remember when um I saw these guys growing up, they'd rough up their women.
Mm-hmm.
And I was Mr. Nice Guy. Yeah. Everybody get a ring when I was younger. But go out and buy a ring for every woman. Yeah. I got a ring for you, friendship ring, yeah.
Haribos.
Yeah. And the thing about it, I mean, I can understand that's a bit extreme. But I was nothing but loving. And I used to hear, "You're too nice.
Mm-hmm.
You're too nice." And I never understood what that really
Look at
meant.
your face.
Yeah. Number one, it wasn't too nice.
Mm-hmm.
But number two, they probably were in relationship that was rough.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And then number three, I had to learn about the balance of being a gentleman. And I won't say being a roughneck, but being assertive. Yeah. There's a time to talk up and there's a time to humble yourself. Yeah. Be loving. What? And here's a question for you who are married. And I got two articles, and I'm going to read. No, I finished, Debbie. That will be it about what we can do to resolve toxic relationships. The thing is how do you translate love? How do you see love? Is love not talking to each other, sleeping in the other room, slapping you in the face, thumping you in your mouth, spitting your face, ripping up your clothes, don't give you no dinner? How do you translate love? Is it kind? Is it caring? Is it huggy? And if you are finding yourself on the flip side of the negative side, that you're kind of distant, try what we were saying. Sit down and look at each other in the eye, and you'll be amazed what you got, what goes through your head when you're looking at this person that you've said you love, but yet you're not treating them 100%. And that's you as a woman and you as a man. You know, I endorse that, and I challenge you to do that.
Yeah, but that challenge needs to go with when you're looking at that person, you're meant to be looking at them and thinking about all the positive things.
Exactly. Thank you.
About that person.
I was going to go there. I was going to go there.
Their attributes. So you could be looking at a person thinking, you've got really nice eyes. Your nose is really cute. Your lips are really kissable. I want to kiss you right now. Do you get what I mean? So yeah. You're looking and thinking about the positive things about that person in order for that exercise to work and work effectively.
And it's not looking and thinking, oh, you got that blackhead. Do you got a blackhead? You know, let me just squeeze. It's not about that. That can come after. You can squeeze the blackhead after. That's not the exercise. It's finding the positives, looking at this person that you've spent this time with, you're married to, you're in a relationship, you're engaged, and you're engaged forever, never going to the marriage stage. You know, it's.
I'd tell you another exercise that is really good, which I did. From January to July, which is our anniversary.
Yeah, go on.
What I did, and this was prompted by the Holy Spirit, because of the challenges that we was experiencing, said to me, write in a book, write something daily that I was grateful for Gary, like write something every single day that he's done that I'm grateful and appreciative for. And there was days when we had challenges, and there was days and I literally push past the thought of the challenge and think about something nice or something that I was thinking about that he did that day. So it could have been something as simple as he called me and texted me from work 3-4 times in the day. You get what I mean? Which it wasn't unusual, but on days where I was feeling challenged, it was things as simple as that I was showing gratitude for. And I remember giving it to him for our anniversary, and he was kind of shocked that I did that for like 7 months, like every single day for 7 months. And he was just like totally blown away. And you know what it did? It gave me a sense of gratitude and appreciation for who he is. And it made me think on days when I was annoyed that I could still find something to be grateful for. Do you get what I mean?
Can I ask you a question?
Always something to be grateful for, regardless of what you're experiencing, regardless of how you're feeling. There's always something to be grateful for. So that's another thing.
Can I ask you a question? If you can answer. Well, some of you don't know, Gary had a serious motorbike accident before I had a stroke. And it was really bad. That's Debbie's husband. How did you feel about Gary? You was talking about having conflicts, you know, of interest, going through different things, and whether you was going through something or not. How did that get you to view your husband? Did the love become more deeper because, or did it just ignite what was already there?
So I wasn't, you know, when I don't know if you any of you watch Kevin Hart, but he says, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for that question because my eyes started to well up when you spoke about the accident there for a minute. I think something like that makes you, for me personally, I don't know about anybody else, but when you know that you could have lost somebody, it grew deeper. Do you get what I mean? It made everything that happened in the past, challenges, issues, whatever, it made
insignificant.
it made those really insignificant. They was just like, that was not at the forefront of my mind at all. And it's those kind of reality checks, it's things like that that happens in life that makes you say, none of that is worth it, if you know that you shouldn't have had answered that question, shouldn't have answered that question. Yeah.
See, it's very much like me with having a stroke. Catherine and I were going through. We were going, oh man, you know them big swinging balls that knock down buildings. There were some big balls swinging on our marriage, you know, and then I had the stroke, and it was like I wanted to keep my eye on the building being knocked down. Because it was a reality. I had a stroke, and I'm looking at not the stroke, I'm looking at the building mashing up, and wanted to push the ball even more and lick down that piece down there as well. And Debbie was speaking about the Holy Spirit. As believers, you know, we know that God speaks and we can hear. Some people will find it a bit different, but we hear. And it, like you said, all of those things meant nothing in the grand scheme of things, because I could have been gone. And then what? I'm in the grave still rolling around thinking, you just hear bones flashing around in there because I'm that piece. Yeah.
Them bones.
I'm knocking to get out. I need to come out. I need to deal with this. It makes you appreciate what you have. Not what you could have, what you have. So I'm speaking to you guys on the rewind, you guys out there in virtual land. Appreciate who you have. There's always taller, thinner, wider, chiseled. There's always going to be. But you didn't get with this person because you were looking for somebody else. You got to this person because this was the one for you. And the problems that occur is just a smokescreen. You've got to have gumption. You've got to have faith, and you've got to be strong to get through it. It's an exam.
Absolutely.
It's an exam. Are you going to fail the exam? I failed twice, within reason, because there are good reasons as to where I'd been. But I had trauma as well. So this marriage, the reason why this marriage is going on, 10 years marriage and 12 years together, is because of different mindset. So even though I was wanting to smash down the place, I heard in my spirit, nah, this has to be different. This has to be different in every way possible, because you've always used to that. You're always used to toxic relationships. I had toxic relationships. But
I bet you didn't know that they was toxic relationships.
No, I wouldn't use the word toxic though.
I wouldn't use the word toxic.
I just said that. Yeah. I used to just say that they've got traumas. But guess what? I had traumas too. Yeah. I was looking at their traumas, and I was saying, well, I don't have that, and I'm this and I'm that.
We need to fix you.
For me to be in them, keep on getting in those type of relationship, I'm the common denominator. So there's something in me as well that's attracted and was attracted to all that drama. And yes, in some respects, it would be that if they're jealous, they love me. If they're acted up, not off key, going over that barrier, because there was only a limit. If you go to here, I would equate it as love. You go to here, you're mad. And I just get on my life, But I just want to read this, and I'm finished with
Let
this.
me read Michael's comments there, because he was
Go on.
commenting while he was talking. He said, "I was with someone once that told me she was seeing someone else. I realized how jealous I was. I don't believe that was love. She wasn't seeing anyone, I later found out." And then he says, he's saying, "Keeps no records of wrong, which is love. Love keeps no records of wrong." And then again, he said, "Love is being comfortable answering the questions of your partner that may be uncomfortable answering without it being abusive." Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. He said yes to something. And Sonia was saying, "So sorry to hear that, Debbie. Take your time. Take your time." And Michael said, "Paul, you are doing
No,
excellent." Oh, Sonia, sorry.
Sonia.
You are doing excellent. Well done. And I guess that's probably to do with your health, as well as, the changes that
God
obviously
has been good to me.
Absolutely.
And I still get emotional about having a stroke. Catherine and I went for breakfast the other day, and there was a guy in the wheelchair that we met last time, and it looks like he had a stroke, but he had a really bad car accident. But the way he was walking, he was sitting down in his chair the last time. This time he had to get up to go to the toilet, and his uncle was helping him, and his aunt was there, and I was starting to speak to her because I felt very emotional. I felt I could understand that when I couldn't walk properly and I needed assistance from Catherine to take me to the toilet if I wanted to do a poo, and because I wouldn't want the nurses to help me, because I felt helpless enough to be asking a stranger to help me, but here was the one that I love helping me. Even we were going through, but I trusted her to be able to help me, and wash me down and everything else like that when I wasn't capable. And I think that as a man, I can only talk from a man's perspective and where I've been. As a man, if we have a woman that it's not easy. That's what I can say. It's not easy for a woman to wipe your backside. Yeah. And it's not easy for a man to receive that woman's wiping his backside. But if a woman is doing that and washing you down and everything else like that, man, I could never.
It's not her job, and it's not her job.
No, it's not. It's not her job.
No, when I mean it's not her job, she's not a nurse. She's not a care worker.
She's doing it out of love. Catherine done it out of love and care.
Absolutely.
And I understood how hard it must have been to be looking after the children here and doing those things as well. And I think that we can be so fickle that we forget what someone has done. I don't ever want to forget. Yeah, I'll sing Catherine's name up into the heavens. Yeah, because it's a lot. It's a lot. And knowing that I was helpless, I'm not saying it doesn't matter what she does, because right is right. And if she's doing wrong, I'm not going to sit there with wrong. Yeah. But I can say this. She'll talk to me more. She talks to me. How do I know that she's perimenopause? How do I know about all these things? Because my wife talks to me, and I understand that. Yeah. I understand, but understanding about menopause, I understand that I can't be wanting to have sex all the time with my wife. For some women, it's very painful. Sometimes you're just hot and you've got hot flushes and you just don't want to be touched. As a man, I must understand that, because it changes in her body. Not that Catherine will use it and say, "Oh, yeah, good. Don't want to touch me, yeah, and get me back." So good. Maybe use a menopause, but being able to know that there's a time we can come together, yeah, and a time where we're not. I wasn't like this before. It was gimme, 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 and gimme. And if you don't give me, yeah, the what I want you to give me, I'm mad like gimme. Yeah. And it was very much like that. And it's we need to get it together as people. We need to get it together and work out our differences. I'm going to read this article because in here it says something that I was going to say, but I want to read what it says. If you need, leave if you need to. If your relationship is toxic through and through, it might be time to end it, especially if you're dating them. Okay, dating them. I emphasize dating them. Getting married or having another baby won't solve your problems. In fact, it will probably make them worse if you're just hanging around waiting, hoping they'll change someday. It's time to kill the fantasy and move on. But if you're married, don't be tempted to pull the plug on the relationship just because things get hard. Exhaust all your options before making the decision as divorce. See a counselor, talk to a pastor, and do the homework. I love that. Do the homework. If you haven't put no homework in, then and you're jumping out, you're gonna jump into the same type of situation. You might not even get married again, but you're gonna have a toxic relationship. I assure you, because you've not learned what you were supposed to learn in that relationship. Healthy, fulfilling relationships are worth the effort and awkwardness and the hard conversations it takes to create them. I think Michael just said something about the awkwardness as well. Take the next step to co-create healthy relationships. Good folks, relationships are messy, yeah, but you need them for a healthy whole life. And I'll just say quickly as a scenario that not a scenario, analogy that I use. I use this analogy about a plug. It has a negative and a positive in it. You plug it in, switch the switch, it works. Take out the negative or the positive and just leave one and see if it works. It will never work. There's nothing that you can do to get it work. You having the negative and the positive brings the balance. So this person, I remember, or if you don't know, I haven't read all of these. You know, I kind of glanced over. So specific things I haven't grabbed, you know. So when I'm saying what I'm saying, it just reaffirms for me as well here. Good folks, relationships are messy, but you need them for a healthy whole life. Don't run to the hills and swear off to all relationships forever. Yes, they're risky. Yes, people will hurt you and you'll hurt them too. But when done right, a good relationship is the most life-giving force on the planet. We need each other. Don't give up on people or yourself. I think that article,
that is a good one to end on.
amazing.
Yeah,
I feel that.
absolutely.
I ain't gonna lie, I feel that. You know, because we go through, and it's hard. It might be with your family or friends. Sometimes you're the one who needs to take the step. That was the lesson. The lesson was not them. The lesson was you. Yeah, you always do this. This is the way you do it. And life, as we see it, as God is allowing this situation to change you, get you to see you and see the mess in you. Yeah. We're like babies sometimes. We mess ourselves and pretend there's nothing there. Yeah. But we all have mess. But the wonderful thing is when both of you know that you have mess, you can help clean one another up. That's the last I've got to say. This is deep for me. This is really heart-wrenching for me. It's, you know, we need to work it.
Yeah,
My final
absolutely.
words.
Thanks, Paul, for that. That article really read well, and there was a lot that was in there. You know, I just wanted to say, because when we was talking about the toxicity, you know, there is that fine line between the toxicity and abuse, but abuse really stems from somebody wanting to have power and wanting to control someone else, whereas toxicity is really people who are using unhealthy methods of dealing with conflict and so forth, not necessarily looking to control someone, whereas abuse is definitely somebody who's trying to control that person, and you know, it is using various methods in ways to do that. Whereas toxicity is like, you know, you can have the be verbally abusive, and it can seem like if it's abuse, but it's not from the coming from the point of trying to control. Do you get what I mean? And that's why I said it's kind of like a fine line, and you'd have to really look at, you know, what abuse and what toxicity looks like. But abuse is really looking to really control that person. So yeah, I hope that, you know, this has helped you, the part two. I do feel like it's a really big topic, and there's so many different things that we could discuss about, you know, how to get support. If there's anything that has really stood out to you guys and you really wanted to talk about it further, you can always reach out to myself or reach out to Paul, Maurice, and get support. You also can look to start therapy yourself, speak to family members. You know, I think it's important that all of us as individuals take accountability and to be introspective, look at where we might be adding toxicity to the relationship, look at areas where we might need to heal from past traumas and so forth. But, you know, all in all, I hope that this has really helped you and benefited you to some degree. If it has, please, please, please share this with others. You should have the link. Let other people know what we're doing, the conversations that we're having. You're welcome to check out some of our other podcasts that we've actually got here on this platform. And yeah, I hope that, you know, to see you again next week. Hope it's benefited you. Your final words, Paul?
And remember this, that if there's any topics that you want us to cover, please message us wherever you find us. Gym Time at 24/7 or underscore 24/7 on Instagram. Maurice and Debbie at Gym Time on Facebook. I mean, Facebook, on YouTube. You can just leave a comment there and we'll cover whichever topic that you want. Also, what we
Gym Time is on Facebook too. It's on
yeah,
Facebook.
it is on Facebook as well. If you do want to join us live, as in that you'll be one of the panelists like Debbie and I, please let us know as well, because you can chair that subject if you want. We'll know about it, but obviously we'll be here with you to talk about whatever you feel is important in your heart. So thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you everybody for watching the reruns, and thank you for telling your friends. Have you got that banner, Debbie, underneath? Thank you so much. Thank you for the support from all of you that do join us in chat as well. Please share our channel, like, and tell a friend. Okay,
No,
that's
tell
my
a friend
final.
to tell a friend, and please subscribe also to our channel. There you go. Okay, so over and out. I am going to get ready to go to my bed.
Me too. And Sonia, thank you. I hear you. You both make me so proud with these topics. You know, one day we'll be in a city near you. Watch and see.
And you. And you.
And you down there looking, smiling. Yeah, I see you. Take care.
Anyway, over and out. God bless you till next week. Bye-bye for now.
Bye for now.